This right here is the Hip Hop Mike Show. I got my man in the building, yo, Kilogram.
What's goody?
Jersey.
You already know that.
I like that, snow that. So what part of Jersey you from, man?
We from the capital, Trenton, New Jersey. Also a couple guys that's with me from Pemberton, Mount Holly, South Jersey. We in the building. It's all Jersey. You know what I mean? Shout out my homie Scotty too, you feel me?
Scotty, what up, man? Who you got with you? Who these guys you got with you?
I got my manager, Money Miz.
Money Miz.
To my right. I got my man Smoke to my left. I got my brother Rob right there. You know, we grew up together since like 5 years old. AKA Son, because he shine like one. You feel me?
So if I want to know more about you, I got to talk to this guy too.
Yeah, you got to talk to him.
Alright,
all kind of
you can grab a mic, man.
Yeah, grab the mic, Rob. You know you feel me, man.
But yeah, man, that's what's up. So what's this about, man? We're in Jersey. You say you grew up in Trenton.
Yeah, I grew up in Trenton.
I'm from Queens originally, by way of Brooklyn, Long Island, and all that. I wasn't in Jersey a lot. Set the tone for the people that's like me that didn't really grow up in Trenton or in Jersey. You know, Trenton in particular. Let them know what it's like, man.
All right, Trenton is kind of on the same vibe like a Newark or a Camden. Like we got crazy homicides, crazy drug stuff going on in the hood. You know what I mean? It's a small town. It's only 7 miles, but it's wild. You know, it's divided up in 4 boroughs: east, west, north, and south. And everybody, touching a dollar, regular stuff, man. You feel me? We come up New York to grab the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking
That's
about
way back in the day.
I got you.
I got you. We don't do that though.
Before the college degrees. I'm just keeping it.
I want to know from the beginning.
Every trend. I'm talking about every
Start
trend.
from the beginning. He want to know.
I want to know from the beginning. Early.
That's what I said. We hit the highway, come mess with 145th and Road.
I'm guessing this isn't the nicest of neighborhoods. This isn't the nicest of neighborhoods.
Definitely not.
It reminds you
It
of
look like The Wire.
Y'all dress so nice.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta stay trendy, man. But at the end of the day, what's going on is like, it reminds you of what, if you ever seen the movie Little Shop of Horror, what Skid Row looked like.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, it's a dirty town. It reminds you of like Baltimore, like you said, on The Wire. You know what I mean?
Wire.
But it's like you would be surprised at the amount of money that a lot of cats is making out there. You know what I mean?
What do most people in Trenton do with themselves?
Honestly,
I'd assume not rapping.
Nah. Everybody in Trenton not rapping, but it's a couple. It's a couple roses growing out the concrete. Like we got one NBA player right now, Malachi Richardson.
Okay.
Yes, sir. He played for Syracuse. He's on the Kings right now. So salute to Malachi. We also have we have a comedian, Samore. I don't know if y'all know Samore. She's from Trenton. And we had the legendary, the honorable, Poor Righteous Teachers.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Come from Trenton. Rock This Funky Joint was a big record.
Yeah, shout out to Waz.
Shout out to Waz. Shout out to Culture Freedom. You know what I mean? Father Shaheed. Like, at the end of the day, they set the tone and letting people know Trenton exists on the map. You feel me? Because other than that, we was known for like the God Body era. That's the only thing people came to Trenton to do is to build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's a lot of guys running around my city that's hot. That sounding just as hot as all these guys in New York, Cali, everywhere. Because of the internet, cats are expanding, their vocabulary. They're becoming trendy. They do the Gucci. They do the low.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? We doing a lot of things right now in the city. You know what I mean?
Believe me, if we wasn't such knuckleheads in New York, we could learn a lot of stuff from Jersey too.
That's
A lot of it's a way longer drive than Jersey, and it's way more expensive.
That's right.
But I gotta say, man.
You ain't never lied. I don't think about that, son. And you in New York.
Yeah, I keep it 100 about everything, bro.
I'll be hello.
Drewski put me on the mad shit, and he from Jersey. I got no shit. I'm not one of these New York dudes that's like, nah, forget Jersey. Like,
they gotta stop treating us like that.
Nah, you gotta pay respect. Not for nothing, a lot of the music that's coming out these days is coming out of Jersey. Jersey and Toronto and Cali is getting more looks. We just getting a little vibe going again in New York.
But Young May represents everything about New York.
Absolutely.
Designer, even though like he may not have the bars, but what he did for New York, like he jumped right in the game and got a 3-time platinum album. That's good for New York, and that's good for us too.
What's that?
Because it makes it relevant to sign an East Coast nigga now. When before you know, I remember labels when we walk up in Def Jam, they say, "If you ain't from the South, we ain't even talking to you." You feel me? So now it's,
look how they
it's
doing
shifting
right
now. It's shifting. I would say right now the game is even. Even Troy Ave, shout out Troy Ave. Like even Troy Ave, when he was doing for New York, that was good. That was good. That was good energy. You know what I mean? So I feel like right now, Jersey, New York, Philly, with Meek Mill, shout to Meek. We in a great space right now.
I like how you said, you know, that there's some roses that's coming out of Trenton.
And I'm one of them.
I want to bring it back to early. So you say, you know, the tone wasn't always so great. You was younger as a kid. I guess this neighborhood ain't the best.
Yeah.
You know, what's early on? What was motivation to get you into music, and like what kind of started that dream?
Well, I grew up in the projects in Trenton out west. You know what I mean? And I would look out my window and see drug dealers, and you know, I'm talking about like when they had the Nissan Maximus with the word Nissan going across the window, and they had the brawl. Who remembers
why
a car
is that?
brawl?
So hot?
But listen to me. At the end of the day, when you growing up in a city like mine, you don't aspire to be a doctor or a lawyer. If you look outside and the drug dealers on the corner got the new Ewans, or they got the Jordans, or they got the Spot Builts, or the Elises, or all these felines, and we like, yo, I might as well be like him.
Yeah, right?
He got all the girls, the jewelry. Like, I want to be him when I grow up. So that's what I saw out my window until I heard "Walk This Way."
Alright.
I heard "Walk This Way" on the radio.
When was the first time you heard that?
Man, listen, back in the day, there was no mixtapes like that.
So it was just radio.
You had to hear the radio. So I never forget, I was in the car, my mom had, I remember what I was doing, my mom had a Spectrum. That's what she used to drive.
Yo, I love, by the way, that "Walk This Way" is the record that you mentioned first.
"Walk This Way" came on the radio, and I heard it. I'm like, yo, they rap, that's hot. Like,
Hollis ain't that different from what you're describing in Trenton.
And I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine, but that was the turning point where I used to go in my room at like 10 years old and try to write my rhymes, or I would steal their rhymes and spit them in school. And then I just stayed with it. As I grew, even him, we used to go on the block and try to sell our little work, and then I'll be like, yo, I wrote a rap last night. And this is real shit. I'll be like, yo, I wrote a rap last night, and he'll be like, you know we ain't trying to hear that shit.
How do you feel about it when he was like, yo, rap? That's
I mean, back then, you know, it was like, yo, bitch don't want to hear that.
Oh, so you talking about?
I want to hear that. I'm on something different right now.
What was you on?
We was trying to get.
Listen, you gotta talk to this mic.
Whatever came at that point in time.
We was trying to get high or fight.
What year was this around, you think?
What? 90, 95,
95.
Oh, so y'all went Run DMC. You could have easily went like.
Oh no. Well, this is Run DMC is in the 80s though. We in the 80s at that time when I heard it, but I'm talking about I wasn't really taking the stuff that serious then. But when I finally, because like I told you, I was a closet rapper.
But that's what I'm saying. You listening to dudes like Run DMC, you could have easily been listening to 90s rap, which was catering to that aggressive nature.
By that time, I was a Locks fan. I was a Murder Mace fan.
Got you.
At that time, I was up to speed. We would play that on the block, but I couldn't rap on the block.
Alright.
It was forbidden. It was like, listen, we're going to put this Mace, we're going to put this Locks on, but don't you dare spit that you wrote. We too focused right now. We not trying to hear that. He was my man, so he probably didn't want to tell me like, nah, you kind of whack.
They wasn't hitting.
You feel me? Nah, I never got a chance to spit it.
Oh, okay.
Rob would tell you right now, but I'm saying shit ass.
What he heard though.
Nah, at that point in time.
Yeah, at that time I would say I was ass. I was ass. Okay.
Yeah, you trying to figure yourself out, and the community ain't making it easy.
That's right.
The world around you.
Too. We come from a city where the rappers that came before us, such as Poor Righteous Teachers, they had a more conscious style.
Yeah.
So anytime you rapping, you was from Trenton, they say, oh, you about to kick some shit like this. You feel me? So at the end of the day, it's like, it wasn't that approach. We was really talking about street shit that we was going through. We was young, 17, you know, getting into fights real crazy. I'm talking about like wars, like West versus East and North versus South. Like we was into that stuff. So it really wasn't no time to fight. It wasn't no time to rap. It was like we was dealing with
it's a hobby. Like
it was on.
As
and then, like I said, it was me, him, and one other guy. He's on my arm right here. His name is Lawson. We used together every day. And
where's Lawson at? If you don't mind me asking.
R.I.P.
I'm sorry, man.
See, what happened was, you know, the small version of the story is that I was the one that him and Lawson dropped out.
Okay.
But I was the one that stayed on course and went to school, finished high school, and I came to them on the block one day. I said, yo, I'm going to the prom. I'ma see y'all niggas when I come back. We all gonna go down Seaside. You know, y'all gonna go with me. They're like, bet. Make a long story short, they bought the shotty and something happened. You feel me? And then my man Lost died in the mix of all of that.
Sorry, man.
Like, what I'm saying is, like, that was the turning point in making sure that I got us out.
I get it. I was the same way. I was like more like you, where like my friends was. I hung out around a lot of dudes that was about the street life, and I was in the mix with it, but they was always telling me like, you the one that tells us to think twice though. What came first? Did they realize that you was the smart one and you could get them paid, or did you start having more goals and start telling them like, yo, I could do this for all of us? Like, when did you start taking the music real serious?
Smart one, man.
Y'all realized first.
Yeah. Because once they left school and everything, and then like before Lost died, I was starting to get a little bit of shows. Like, I'd be like, yo, I show up Philly. So they like, oh, we on to Philly? All right.
Wait, so rewind though. When did people start hearing the raps?
His little brother.
Okay.
When Lawson died, before I used to rap to them niggas, even if they clown me, I would still get one off on them. Like, yo, listen, fuck this.
Alright.
You know what I mean? But then they was like, alright, well, you got a little something.
You start getting nice.
Exactly. But when Lawson died, I made a tribute song to him, and his little brother had the streets. He was getting money. And his little brother used to carry the Sony. You know, remember the niggas carrying the radio down the block? So I had my songs on a cassette tape. I used to make private demos.
How was you recording on cassette?
What happened? I would go to a studio. I never would tell them niggas though. I was going to a studio and say, fuck y'all niggas. Y'all niggas hating. I'm going to do my own fucking thing. You feel me?
I did the same shit. I like
it. So I built like 4 or 5 songs up. And I let him hear it, and he was like, "Oh shit, alright, bro."
Okay.
And then he gave it to his brother, and his brother had, like I told you, he had a wave of little niggas, and he would be up there selling this little weed or whatever, and he'd be playing it like, "Yo, this my man Kilogram or whatever." So he was like, "Oh shit, this nigga alright, this nigga grandma alright." And then that's what built me the confidence up for me to keep going.
Yeah, because
like,
you doing it legit.
Once I came to the block, niggas was like, yo, I heard that shit you did about Lost. Yo, you got another tape.
Got you.
So I would have to go burn a tape for this nigga, then burn a tape for this nigga. Then I said, oh, I'm gonna do this.
And you must have felt good going to a studio setting and like that must have been.
The studio niggas thought I was nice. My niggas was hating. You feel me? I'm gonna keep it real.
That's how it is. That's how it be.
The guys who was behind the boards and all that shit, they got it.
Got you.
But once he was in, he was in.
Okay.
Nobody could tell him nothing about me.
Got you. What was it about him that made you just be in it? Was it just the chemistry or?
I mean, I grew up with the nigga, so I know what he about.
And the bars was right.
And the bars happened to be hitting at that point.
Okay.
And then my nigga Miz too. My nigga. Oh, real quick, how we met. This is
business management.
Business management / brother. This is my Puerto Rican brother. Like real talk.
From Trenton also?
No,
I'm from Burlington. Y'all.
Yeah,
okay.
he's out
First,
there.
Okay. Y'all got some time.
This nigga, he pulled up on my block. I used to get money at.
Okay.
He was selling a little mixtape with the.
I had a brick of
King Coke. Remember that one?
I had a brick of Coke as my CD cover.
Yeah, because you know his name's Kilogram. You know what I'm saying? So he like, yo, buy this mixtape I got. I said, yo, get in my truck. If the shit hot, I had like 10 niggas on the block at the time. I said, if the shit hot, I'm gonna buy 10 of them shits.
I was
all
selling
my
at
niggas.
$10.
Yeah, you feel me? So he like, yeah, so he like, so the nigga like, so the nigga like, nah, you just gotta get one. I said, do you want $10 or do you want $100? Nigga? You feel me? So he like,
that's a lot of pressure though.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure when a nigga say, yo, if it's hot, I'm gonna buy 10. So I'm thinking to myself, what if it's ass? Like, at least you gonna get one nigga?
Not for nothing. It doesn't sound like a block that you want to bring any bullshit to.
There you go.
So peep it though. So now we in the truck, man.
You lucky it was hot.
And I swear to God on everything, like I'm listening to this shit, and the intro alone
The intro's out.
had me like this. Look, he right here, he in the passion. I was like this. Oh, this nigga hot. I said, I swear to God, I said, oh, he.
Was you expecting it?
He was.
Now you know what's so funny?
Yeah.
Cause he from Trenton, he went to school for a little bit in Permitan, where I'm from.
Okay.
So I know the nigga already.
Yeah.
That's why he pulled up on the block.
Alright,
You
that's
feel
why
me?
he was even comfortable going to the block.
So boom. So when he pulled up on the block and we was in the truck, I was like, God damn, this nigga can rap.
Alright.
And this was before What's up?
And let me tell you something real quick before we finish the story. I ain't give a fuck about the 100. I needed 10 for gas.
And a Dodge Caravan, green. Green. It was a green.
Yeah.
Caravan.
You took that.
I'm like,
I would have took the 100, but I needed the 10. I said, nigga, I'm about to be on
But he
heat.
pretty much just told you right there.
Yeah.
You want $10?
I'm a bit, yo, listen, Scott, I'm a businessman. You feel me? So I was like, yo, listen, I swear to God, look peripheral like that. This nigga, huh? I said, look, all this little money I'm getting, I can invest in this nigga because at the time, this was before Napster, this before all this internet shit.
MySpace wasn't even
What did that? Do you remember what the intro was or what it sounded like?
I couldn't rap it for you right now.
It's
because
okay.
You're talking about 15 years ago.
Nah, I'm just curious.
At the end of the day,
It
it
was
was an
something.
intro about my man who died.
Lawson. It was
And I
about
was
luck.
breaking
That's
down
why.
You know Lawson also?
Huh?
Did
No,
you-
I did.
He-
I did.
Right before
I
I met him, Lawson died like a couple months
Gotcha.
before that. But what I'm saying is, I was breaking it down over like a sample was like crying in the background.
It was
I
deep,
was just
yo.
talking so
You
much.
see that?
shit.
Lawson,
know how-
Lawson gave you a blessing though.
And it was crazy because you know how that music you listen to and they give you the goosies?
Yeah.
That's how that was. So that's how I
And I
was
was
like,
hungry as shit at that
I
time.
said, yo, they
hungry.
Literally.
Talk about, I would have bit a nigga hell.
yeah, you feel me?
If he would have put me in front of niggas and said, yo, rap for that $10, I would have did it.
Oh, we put him in front of Redman in Orlando, but that's a little.
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
we'll get there.
All right. So he pulls up on the block. He finish telling me the story.
So he pulled up. I'm thinking in my head like, yo, the nigga nice. Like, yo, what's up? You know, what's up? I'm like, yo. He's screaming. At the time, he was screaming "Tip in the Scale Entertainment," which was his label, but he never really got an LLC.
Nah.
Understand?
It was just
homeboy
you
shit
just
with
said
some
named it.
t-shirts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm on some shit like, yo, that shit you screaming "Tip in the Scale," like that shit.
Yeah, he might have a situation.
Yeah, he like no,
Okay.
but it's a record company I came up with. I said, yo, we going to the lawyer. Yeah, we out there. What's up?
Businessman.
And RIP to his brother L.
Yeah, my brother.
Check it. I said, what's up? I'm trying to get in. He said, yo, don't my brother owe you some money? I said, listen.
My brother was getting.
We was in the streets. L was in the streets with me.
Okay.
So he like, I said, yeah, L owe me some money, but listen, that don't got nothing to do with me and you.
You got the goosies. You ready to go?
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, my nigga, let's go. You got 20,000 to get this label going. Going to the Not My Boy record, right?
First off, let them know where to find you.
Okay.
We can give them some bars, and then we're gonna get this record on. All right?
That's right. Alright, yo. You can find me right now. My name is Kilogram, Tank the Man, record CEO, partnered up with my man Miz, my manager, Money Miz Entertainment. You can find me on www.kilogramnj.com. That's KILOGRAMNJ.com. Also, I'm on Instagram at kilogram, the number 3. KILOGRAM, the number 3. Follow me on that. Follow me on Facebook as The Real Kilogram. And also, follow my man Money Miz Entertainment. Miz, tell them where you can follow it.
The Real Money Miz on IG. It's basically
Facebook, Instagram, basically Lawson.
He cool. He too cool.
I'm here, hood nigga.
He said the cut.
All he doing is showing up with the ratchet. That's it. I don't want to talk.
Well,
But like,
what bars you show up with?
Oh,
Let's
listen,
hear
here we
these
go.
bars, man.
801st is my hood, nigga, on everything, and that's gang gang.
What?
Affiliated with the murder team, so you motherfuckers better maintain. For my young nigga with the F&M, run up on you, nigga, go bang bang. He trained to go, so it's a headshot. So we don't deal with no name games. Kilogram, how that name came. I be with niggas that slang cane. Tote guns and they gang bang, and they'll murder you for that damn stain. When you die, we pop champagne. Same color as Cam Range.
What?
Niggas think cause they rap now that me and them in the same lane. Motherfuckers been corny since high school. Nigga, you a damn lame. 35, never had a deal, never had a buzz. That's a damn shame. Google me, you see MTV, you see BET by my damn name.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm out of town, but I'm writing this on a damn plane. Fuck Trump and his campaign. My man see him, my man aim. He miss him, he hit his wife and put her brains on that Vera Wayne. Gang. Kill, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's get into that
Kilogram.
Not My Boy shit, man. It's a fact. Hip Hop Mike, thanks for having us.
Appreciate you coming.
I appreciate the alley.
Scott,
Yo,
Elizabeth
Stop
niggas,
playing with me,
Eastwood
yo.
niggas, Trenton niggas. Yo, shout out Scotty for the alley-oop. Shout out my nigga Black Collar for the alley-oop.
Definitely.
We appreciate this, man. We're really just trying to come up on the bag. Hip Hop Mike, continue to follow us.
I will.
There
I
will
definitely
be great
will.
things that come from us.
Definitely.
We good niggas, we humble niggas. You know what I mean? We not begging niggas for no deal. We not
Oh, no, we
begging
gonna get it
niggas for no
regardless,
airplay.
you feel me?
I can tell.
You feel me?
Yeah, we gonna get it, Mike.
Like, you know what I'm saying?